those investors, and their view is, Mike, you're convicted 150%. Look, I'm 150%, 200% exposed to Bitcoin. They're not. They might be 1% convinced. Bitcoin is the winner. It is the king of all commodities. It is the king of all cryptos. It just keeps getting stronger because Bitcoin itself is the most thermodynamically sound asset, which means if we just wait for all the fiat currencies of the world to inflate as the world issues more dollars, pesos, bolivars, and euros, and yen, and won, it stands to reason that the price of Bitcoin measured in those units of account is just going to continue to appreciate to our benefit, the benefit of our shareholders.
BTC price action could attempt a reclaim of $30,000, analysis says, with Bitcoin climbing through its trading range. A cooler reaction, meanwhile, came as Hong Kong announced the return of retail crypto trading. Hello and welcome to Crypto Street. In this video, we have the privilege of exploring Michael Saylor's fascinating perspectives on the future of Bitcoin. So let's get started.
If we look back to when MicroStrategy began this journey, which was around August of 2020, and we look at the performance of all major asset classes since that time period, Bitcoin's up about 140%. The S&P index is up maybe 25%. The NASDAQ is up in the teens, actually maybe even less. Gold is like a plus 1%. Silver's been down, it's lost money, and bonds have lost even more. So Bitcoin is the best performing asset since then. It is actually showing the promise of an inflation hedge and a store of value. It has achieved that kind of performance in a volatile fashion, but even on a Sharpe ratio basis, it's outperforming alternatives. And I guess the best alternative right now is really the S&P index, which requires that you take equity risk. The world wants a hard commodity money, but the second best commodity is gold, and it's just not standing up to Bitcoin at this point in time. And the weaker commodities like silver, soybeans, oil, timber, they just don't work because when the price goes up, you can make more of it. And of course, if you can't use a commodity, you got to go to a security. And if you go to a security, you've got counterparty risk because securities have issuers. And so Bitcoin is filling this void. It's the asset without an issuer. It is not just a commodity, but a scarcity. It's capped. And I think that's why it's outperforming all these other assets over this time period.
Bitcoin's price has stabilized near $27,000 since May 13th, displaying reduced volatility in the period. Traders are now questioning whether a bullish breakout is the next possible outcome for the Bitcoin price. According to technical analysis, the sideways movement illustrates an ongoing conflict, meaning traders are unsure about the direction of Bitcoin's next price trend.
The market cap is up, the stock price is up. The return for our shareholders since we adopted the Bitcoin strategy is it was like 150%. It was higher than the return on the Bitcoin itself. So our corporate stock actually has tracked with some volatility, the Bitcoin performance, and sometimes in some periods we actually perform better than Bitcoin. So we've delivered shareholder returns in excess of NASDAQ, in excess of every big tech stock, in excess of every asset class, in excess of every enterprise software competitor, in excess of the S&P. So Bitcoin's done what it needs to do, and our company is fine. And as for where does it need to be, I think the key here is we're a levered Bitcoin play, but about $2 billion of the money we used to buy the Bitcoin was effectively equity. And about $2.2 billion was a debt instrument, although most of that is convertible debt, so it's convertible to equity. So only $500 million of the Bitcoin purchases were with actual debt, corporate debt or senior secured debt. And the company has generated positive cash flow, and it has Bitcoin assets far in excess of any of the debt instruments we have outstanding. So Bitcoin, I expect, will just continue to go up forever. It will go up forever with volatility. It's on a bull run now. It'll charge forth until it gets to some point. There'll be a contraction and a drawdown, and it will continue. We will just continue to acquire and hold Bitcoin. We'll do it with cash flows. That's accretive. We'll do it occasionally with debt if we like the debt markets. Right now, the debt markets aren't particularly amenable to corporate offerings. At one point, you could issue $1 billion of debt at 0% interest. That was much more amenable. So when debt markets are open, we'll use debt. When equity markets are accretive, and it makes sense to sell equity because it's accretive to sell the equity and buy the Bitcoin, we'll do that. When neither of them are accretive, we'll just use cash flows. And if we don't have cash, we'll just wait, because Bitcoin itself is the most thermodynamically sound asset, which means if we just wait for all the fiat currencies of the world to inflate, as the world issues more dollars, pesos, bolivars, and euros, and yen, and won, it stands to reason that the price of Bitcoin measured in those units of account is just going to continue to appreciate to our benefit, the benefit of our shareholders.
In the world of finance, a fierce debate rages on regarding the U.S. debt ceiling fight. Last week, talks reached a deadlock, leaving everyone on the edge of their seats. Bipartisan negotiations are in full swing as they strive to lift the debt limit and avert a potential U.S. government default before June 1st. However, no agreement has been reached so far. What's at stake? Well, Republicans are standing firm, demanding significant cuts in government spending as contingencies. But that's not all. We'll also dive into the intriguing world of Bitcoin derivatives and explore whether the market structure resembles the thrilling period of early April. Stay tuned as we unravel the mysteries and assess the chances of Bitcoin breaking above the $29,000 mark in the current macroeconomic environment.
Those investors, and their view is, Mike, you're convicted 150%. Look, I'm 150%, 200% exposed to Bitcoin. They're not. They might be 1% convinced. So they've got $1 billion. They take 1% of $1 billion, which is $10 million, and they buy MicroStrategy stock because they want to get 1% convinced and 1% exposed. And if I were to go and I were to worry and diversify across soybeans and corn and oil and natural gas, and I represented 100 different things, I would be all things to all people and nothing interesting to anybody, because that's just a random index, a commodities index. They don't want me to do that. Bitcoin is the winner. It is the king of all commodities. It is the king of all cryptos. It just keeps getting stronger. And you are free as an investor, right, to agree with me and go long, or disagree with me and short my stock, right? And either of those consequences is fine with us.
Bitcoin's options and futures markets have undergone significant changes since early April, when the price experienced a low volatility period. During that time, Bitcoin surged by 8%, going from $28,300 to $30,800 in less than 24 hours. While history may not repeat itself, there's still a chance for a bullish breakout if Bitcoin's current sideways movement near $27,000 breaks to the upside. However, it's important to note that BTC options traders are pricing similar risks for both upward and downward movements, indicating a neutral to bearish sentiment. Despite these factors, the overall sentiment has remained unchanged over the past couple of weeks. Are you excited to trade on where the price of Bitcoin will go next? We're eager to hear your thoughts on this thrilling topic. Don't miss out on all the action. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content.